My name is Ron Benzeeb, and I'm one of the organizers for 1,000,000 Cups. In the room is Natalie. Natalie, raise your hand in red over there. Shay, where are you hiding? Shay's back there drinking coffee, which you guys should be doing as well. Somewhere in Kansas City is Nancy, and David is in parts unknown taking a break. Today, we're going to have one presenter, which is wonderful because we'll get to dive a little deeper into the conversation and into the discussion. For those of you that have never been here before, if you can just raise your hand so we can welcome you. Welcome to 1,000,000 Cups. This is really cool. Thank you for coming. This is by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. Everyone that you see here involved with 1,000,000 Cups, we're all volunteers. This was born almost 2 years ago in Kansas City at the Kauffman Foundation for Entrepreneurship, and the whole premise is to help entrepreneurs grow and succeed. So this is what we're here for. We're here to help you guys. Everyone in the room has a journey, has a story, is right now going through or has gone through a startup. So stay around, talk to people, share your ideas, share your business cards, and by all means continue to help us grow this ecosystem, because Central Florida is an awesome place to be, and it's an awesome place to grow a business. No need to go anywhere else. We have a couple really cool guests here in the room, so I'm going to, Brian, where are you sitting or standing? Brian, raise your hand. Really cool guy from Atlanta who came and hung out at Startup Weekend with us this past weekend, which was an amazing event. And Brian came and he is a storyteller. He helps nonprofit and social enterprises hone and fine-tune their stories. And my boss is in the room today as well. Ari is an amazing support individual for Startup Weekend and Up Global, and thanks to her, we're able as community organizers to put together Startup Weekend events, and she's here from Kansas City warming up, and she's heading back today, and she was able to sneak this in through and hang out with us. So if you want to learn about some really cool entrepreneurial stories and opportunities and venues, so by all means, find Ari after the event so she can talk to you guys about that as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask you guys to tweet, we're going to ask you guys to Instagram, we're going to ask you guys to go on our Facebook page, like our Facebook page. The contest is over. I did not cheat, I promise. I don't know if we won or not, so we'll find out shortly. After the presentation, we're going to tell you a little bit more about our sponsors and the people that allow us to make this a successful event, because again, it's by the community, for the community, you know, this is just an exciting thing. So I'm going to remove my mic. If we can get Rebecca on deck and get this show on the road. Come with me. I'll give you the microphone, and then we can welcome our presenter for the day.
Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca Bormel, and I am the manager and the event and fundraising coordinator at Spoiled Rotten Marketing. I'm 22 years old, and the company has been around for, can you hear me?
Yeah, the mic is for recording, not for voice.
Okay, so, all right, I'll project. I'm 22 years old, and the company has been around for almost a year now. So here's Spoiled Rotten Marketing. And if you could hit the next slide, that would be great. Awesome. So here's a little bit about us. At Spoiled Rotten, we market salons and spas. We offer marketing services to them, and we create spa packages that are 90% off. So that includes massages, facials, manicures, pedicures, haircuts, and any other salon or spa service you can think of. So at Spoiled Rotten, you'll find some of your area's most luxurious salons and spas at a significant discount. So people can actually go on our website and buy a spa package for themselves, or they can pamper someone else for Mother's Day, a birthday, or any special occasion. Next slide, please. I'll show you some of our packages. This is one of our clients, 180 Med Spa in Winter Park. So we work with them, and we created a package that looks like that. I have some other packages that I can show you guys in a little bit. And this one includes 4 services. So it's a Swedish massage, a customized facial, a Renaissance 2 peel, and a LipoLite LED body contouring treatment, which is like a slimming treatment. Normally, if you just walked into the spa and purchased all 4 services, that would cost about $500, about, roughly. So with our packages, we discount them at 90% off, so we sell this package for $52. So the next slide, I'll show you another example. This is one of my personal favorites. This is Infinite Massage and Wellness, and we put together a package for them. It includes a hot stone massage, choice of Botox or microdermabrasion, also a pumpkin spice or peppermint facial, or they can choose an acupuncture, right? And a Swedish massage. So this would cost you about $600 if you just walked in the door and got all 4 services. We charge $62 for the entire package. So the whole point is it's a marketing strategy. If we can get somebody through the door of the spa, a new client 4 times, 4 separate visits, hopefully they'll impress them 4 times, build a relationship, and hopefully the person will come back, they'll refer their friends, they'll upsell them, maybe they don't just want a 30-minute hot stone massage, they'll upgrade to a full hour, for example. So this is one of our packages, and we actually started with 500 units of these packages. We sold out so quickly that they decided to do another 500 units, and now we are almost sold out. We have a couple left, so it's still on our website, but we don't really sell it on a regular basis because we've almost sold 1,000 units of just this package. Next slide, please. So this is my favorite part of the business. These are our spa books, and you guys will have a chance after the presentation to come take a look at them. So this is the Enjoy the Spa magazine. So imagine 30 visits to the spa for $60. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, at Spoiled Rotten, we make it happen. So we reached out to all the top spas and salons in the Winter Park area. Some of them are downtown, but most of them are like around Park Avenue and in Winter Park. And they each donated 1 free spa service to be a part of this magazine. Usually to be in a magazine, it would cost the spa money up front, and maybe they can't afford it, they're just starting up, they're a small business, and we actually give them a free page of advertising in our book. So here's an example of one of the pages. You guys can take a look after. So there's a free service at the top of each page, and then 3 other discounts underneath. So there's 30 free spa services inside, so 1 on each page at 30 different spas and salons. So this is the Winter Park edition, and then we also have the Dr. Phillips edition. And this one just came out. It includes 12 gift certificates. This one's really awesome because people can actually gift them. Since there's 12 of them, they can give 1 to their mom, 1 to their sister, use a couple for themselves, maybe give 1 to a friend or a family member. So this book, actually, we just released about 2 months ago, and it's been really great. The best thing about the books is that we are able to personalize the front page with a charity or organization. So we work with a lot of organizations, one being Give Kids the World, and we personalize the front page with their logo, information about them, and then they actually can sell the books at their events, and we do donate a portion of the proceeds back to the organization. So we work with a lot of charities as well. Next, please. So here are some of our partners: Habitat for Humanity, Women Playing for Time, and Give Kids the World. We're definitely looking to expand that list. We like to work with a lot of different nonprofit organizations and really any organization that is looking to fundraise. We've worked with a lot of schools, churches. We've done a lot of networking events where we've gone out, sold the books, and then donated a portion back to the organization that hosted us. So we've raised a lot of money for the organizations, and it feels really good to give back, be able to go out to an event, sell the books, and then just write a big fat check to Habitat for Humanity or Give Kids the World or Women Playing for Time. So we definitely want to grow that list. Next, please. So here are some of our locations. We do have over 100 clients, spas and salons in Central Florida, and we're expanding further. We're actually on our way to open up a Tampa office. We moved all the furniture in this week, so Spoiled Rotten will be moving to Tampa as well, so we'll have another branch there as well. So here are some of our locations from here in downtown Orlando, Winter Park, all the way to Leesburg, Winter Haven, Daytona Beach, and you guys can see these are just some of our locations. So I like to say we have a spa or salon that we represent within 20 minutes of where anybody lives here. So hopefully that makes it really attractive and convenient for the consumer. Next. So what's next? Of course, we are opening up a Tampa office. That's really exciting. Like I said, we've just moved our furniture into our new office in Tampa. We have about 4 clients in Tampa right now, and we'd like to grow that just like we did in Orlando. When I started with the company about 9 months ago here in Orlando, we had about 3 of these little packages, so 3 clients that we worked with. And now, like I said, we have over 100 in about 9 months. So as you can see, it's grown really, really quickly. And it really is a no-brainer for the spas and salons. It's free marketing. They don't have to put out any money out of pocket. All they have to do is give away some services, sample services, and then we'll bring them clients. We'll drive people to their door, and hopefully they'll do a great job, impress them, and then they'll come back and they'll upsell. Anytime they do upgrade their services, 100% of those upgrades go back to the spa or salon. We also do a little bit of a rebate program with the packages. To kind of help cover their supplies for the service. We send them 10% of our sales for that spa back to them. So we write them a check every month. So instead of them putting out money to us every month, they actually get a check in the mail every month. So for the spa or salon, it really is a no-brainer. For us, it's great too. Of course, we're able to market them. And then really for people purchasing these packages, to get them 90% off. I like to say it's better than Groupon, better than Living Social, and that's basically how we came up with the idea. A lot of actually the spas and salons aren't the biggest fans of Groupon and Living Social. A lot of people have become Groupon shoppers. I've done it myself. You go from spa to salon, back to a different spa depending on the prices. Also in Orlando, it's really hard to be on Groupon because people come here for vacation, and they go to the spa, they buy a Groupon, and then they go back home and they never come back. So what we do with these packages is we invite the local community in. So whether that's at events, at networking events, or with charities in the local area where we work with them. And we do actually go business to business as well. We have a sales team that goes to a lot of the businesses around the spa and invites the employees in as well. So those are the people that pass by the spa every day, and they probably haven't had a chance to try out those services, so we give them the opportunity to do that at a 90% off rate. Next. So how can you guys help? Well, of course, we're looking for more events that we could be a part of, more organizations to partner with. We've been at Red Carpet Monday, if you guys are familiar with that. We've worked with press on events. We've also gone to some golf tournaments happening in the area, tennis tournaments. We've gone to pretty much every event that Habitat for Humanity has put on for their Women Build. So we have an event with them almost weekly. So we're definitely looking for more organizations to partner with. We'll come out, set up a table, do all the work, and write the organization a check at the end of it. We'll do a profit sharing with the book. Fundraisers, we're looking for more nonprofit organizations to work with. So if you guys are a part of any nonprofits or you have a contact, I would love to get in touch with them. I really think it would be a great thing to work together. Of course, you can buy a spa book or a gift certificate. I have some here if you want to come look through. I also am giving everybody today a $5 off coupon to go on our website, and you're more than welcome to get something for yourself or buy something as a gift. Like I said, Mother's Day is coming up. It's next month, so it's a perfect gift for a mom. Any birthdays coming up, it's great for that as well. All of our gift certificates, the certificates that look like this, they're valid for 6 months from the date of purchase, and all of our books are good through the end of the year. So it's not like you buy a package and you have a week to use it and then you forget about it and you don't have a chance to take advantage of it. We give everybody plenty of time to use it, or they can gift it as well. You can like us on Facebook. This is our Facebook page, facebook.com/enjoythespa. We actually just hit 1,000 likes, so we're really excited about that. So we would love to grow even more, so we would appreciate your support. And then, of course, you can check out our website. It's spoiledrottenmarketing.com. If you click shop, you can see all the areas that we're in. and you can see what spa is closest to you, and you can definitely take advantage of a 90% off spa package. Next. So here's how you go online and take advantage of that $5 off coupon if you guys are interested. Go on the website, click shop. You can add a spa book or gift certificate to your cart. If you enter Spoiled1, that will give you the $5 off. And we'll ship it right to you. And that's basically it. Next slide. And this is my information. You guys are more than welcome to take my information down, my phone number, my email. And I would love to hear feedback from you guys. And if you guys have any questions, I'll take them at this time.
So you mentioned a couple packages. Is the goal to get individuals to go there 4 separate times, or do they go once and get all 4 services?
It is 4 separate visits. That way the spa has 4 chances to impress them and 4 chances to upsell them as well. Some of the spas or salons, it's really their discretion. I've seen them honor 2 services at once, but for the most part, we ask that they do them in 4 separate visits. However, they can do it in any order. So even though it says A, B, C, D, they could do D first, then come back for A, or however they please. It's 1 certificate per person. That's a really good question. I get that a lot. But that gives people the chance when they say that, I usually let them know, you can get a certificate and your friend can get a certificate and you guys can go together. And that way, the person will hopefully get a second one. Yes. No, there's no blackout dates or anything like that. It's just 6 months. So they have from the date of purchase through 6 months to use it.
And what's your data show for returns for the spa? Is it working obviously?
It's definitely working. We've heard a lot of feedback. We don't have any numbers of how many people are actually using it. The spa or salon may be able to track that better. But we've heard really great feedback to the point where spas, after we sell 500 units, that's usually how our contracts work. They're so excited. They love it so much that they want to do another 500. Thank you.
And I'm going to make it a business right now with my business, and we're going to go.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yes?
So the profit point is actually sales.
Correct. The books, the $60, Spoiled Rotten does get all of that. However, with the certificates, we do give a rebate back to the spa, a small rebate to help cover their supplies for the services.
So when you partner with a nonprofit, you up the price of the book to
No,
percent it, or you just
no, we just, yeah, exactly. We take a less of the profit. We'll do a profit sharing. We usually do about 40 to 50% goes back to the organization. Yes.
I came to your presentation today this morning thinking that your business wasn't going to be scalable. That's absolutely not the case. What's the key to your scalability success?
Will you rephrase that for me?
Well, this looked like a lifestyle business for you before I came this morning. Read up a little bit on your website. But clearly, you've got a team of people that are selling.
Yes.
What's the key to that success?
Well, it is actually, that's probably the hardest part about the business is finding people to sell the product. It takes a really self-motivated and independent person. It is business-to-business sales that we mostly do. We also go out to some events and fundraisers as well. But that's actually the hardest part about the business. And we are hiring. So if you guys know anyone, we are constantly interviewing. I do that 2 days a week, every single week, interviewing all day and finding the right people to join our team. Thank you. Yes?
So I have several clients that use Groupon and they've had success with the actual campaign. But I think that the biggest thing, they're all kind of never want to do it again. And it's because I think that there wasn't any support or education to them. And I thought that Groupon or Linear Social could have done a better job about teaching them how to track their retention, from these new clients to be
Right.
able to determine whether or not this was something that could work. Because in the beginning, it doesn't really look like you're just giving away a bunch of stuff for free, and no one really can appreciate the value until you're actually tracking the retention
Right.
of these clients. So I think that that's something that it would be good, number one, for you guys to track and follow up. It would help your salespeople to be able to say you have an average rate of retention based on your industry and your business criteria.
Right.
in the dark and see what happens. I think that the data would really help
Right.
salespeople to support that this is a campaign and we're going to help you to measure the results to see the value in this so that you can continue to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's where they lost the business of my clients.
Mhm.
There wasn't any tracking in place to
Right.
say, okay, everyone that comes in on Groupon, let's code them in a certain way so that we know when these people return that this was, worth doing and maybe we should do it again in association.
Right. And one of the biggest difference between us and websites like Groupon and Living Social is anybody can go online for the most part, and that's really the only way to get a Groupon or Living Social coupon to a spa or a salon. So I could, if I see a Groupon at Daytona Beach, I lived here in downtown Orlando, I might purchase that. Maybe I know I'm going out there or I'm willing to make the trip. And chances are I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to travel almost an hour away just to go get a massage or a facial. So we actually go to all the surrounding businesses around the spa or salon and invite those people in so that they can come after work or during their lunch break or something like that. So we really try to target the right people in the community, and hopefully they'll come back because it is so convenient for them.
We have time for one more question.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think it's a really great idea. You're really young. How did you think of this idea and organize it so well?
I'm not the owner of the company. We have two owners, Kelly and Paul. They couldn't be here today. They're actually running our meeting this morning, getting everybody out and about. But I'm the manager of the organization, and I graduated college from UCF last May. I saw a job posting for Spoiled Rotten. They were just starting up about 9 months ago. And I applied, and the rest is history. So I loved the idea. I fell in love with the concept, and I had never heard anything like it. And I thought it was a really good place to start in a business that's so small. I was actually the first person on our sales team, and it's grown ever since. So I thought it would be a good place to start and grow the business and help them a lot. So it's been really great. That's all.
Well, I think that you
Thank you.
really well.
Thank you.
So you answered really well what we can do for you, but when we're done, is this table going to be out and people are going to talk
Yes,
with you here? Okay.
absolutely.
Great. Awesome. Before we go to our coffee break, we do have another presenter that I'm pulling up last minute. But before our coffee break, real quick, I want to invite Gary from Startup Weekend to come and share just for a few minutes.
This is last minute, but it's really a very comfortable room because I see a lot of familiar faces from the Startup Weekend, so that's awesome. So I'm with Up Global, which is the parent company that runs programs like Startup Weekend, like Next, and our main goal is to amplify the efforts of startup community leaders like you guys. So everybody running, it's actually kind of fun for me to be at 1 Million Cups because I'm based in Kansas City, where that was born out of. So I'm a big supporter in KC. Our HQ at Up Global is actually in Seattle, so I'm the lone wolf in KC. But I get to work with all of the community leaders, making these efforts happen. I did spend some time with the Startup Weekend folks this past weekend at the Social Innovation event, and it was really fantastic. I had heard a lot of rumblings. I talk on the phone. I get to do a lot of Google Hangouts. But it was really fun to be in person and kind of see and feel the energy of the room and the event. And I have to say, I was overall, like out of all the events I work with and have gone to, I was really impressed with the level of engagement from the mentors, from everybody connecting. I could tell that people really get the full circle kind of cycling back into the community. And so all of you being here and supporting, just keep doing that. It's amazing. But Startup Weekend has been really cool. How many of you have been to one, just out of curiosity? Awesome, that's so cool. It's growing. It's definitely a grassroots effort. And this upcoming weekend, I know we have 34 events across the globe. One thing that I think is really cool that I just learned myself is last year we held 7 events in Iran.
we had an event in Syria where there's a civil war going on. Like, we're able to get into the communities where places, you know, sometimes the U.S. government can't even get into. So people like you who are passionate about seeing their communities grow, they're taking the ball and running with it, making things happen, and that's kind of what it takes. So just keep doing what you're doing. So great to see your familiar faces, and keep pitching in. Great to see you all.
When Brian finishes up, we'll have the Q&A as normal, and then we'll thank our sponsors and dismiss. So welcome, Brian.
Thank you very much. This is a testament of how welcoming this community is. So thank you so much. I already know, just meeting some people a week ago, I already know probably 5-10 people in here, so that's pretty incredible. So I feel like a family already. So Rebates, we are a change agency, and we equip causes to tell their story and help make it true. My name is Brian Noel. I'm partner and COO. Big title, small company, but essentially, when Josh started the company, he said, "Will you make this a legitimate business so I can focus on helping causes?" And I said, "I will try." So 3.5 years later, so far, they say the 3-year mark is the mark to celebrate. So this past 3 years, we celebrated. We took the team out and celebrated 3 years of business. So, but what we do is, I'll tell you what we do, and then I'll tell you a little bit about why we ended up where we ended up. But we partner with humanitarian, nonprofits, social entrepreneurs, and religious organizations to help build clarity, credibility, and sustainability in their organizations and brands so that they can focus on changing lives. And that's really important. You would be amazed, well, maybe not, with how many nonprofits or people, presidents, directors that I sat down with, and I said, "Tell me about your week." And they told me, "Well, I spent 2 days trying to fix my email." And I'm like, you started this thing to change lives, and you spent 2 days trying to fix your email? And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, why? So when we started out, we the founder, Josh Webb, worked in mainstream advertising, worked on some major brands, and there's some standard business practices that young entrepreneurs, young nonprofits, even old nonprofits, they just skip that. Whether it be they didn't have the budget, whether they didn't have the resources or the time, a lot of times what they skipped was strategy, and they went straight into execution, right? We want to get more donations, we need a website. Well, sorry, there's a million websites, right? So when we first started out, we wanted to be, the cool boutique agency, like a lot of agencies, and there's nothing wrong with that. But after a couple of years of sitting down and pitching neon blimp ideas, and they say, "Well, I would love that, but can you help me fix my email?" We really said, "You know what? And really what we were doing is we were validating our audience. So we thought we knew what they wanted. We thought that if they had this beautiful creative and all that kind of stuff, they would have what they needed. But what they really needed was bring clarity to their story. So we feel like the anchor of any brand is a clear and compelling story that produces a call to action. And that's what a lot of young, very passionate people struggle with. Now, this term may offend you, but we call that passion vomit. I think this crowd can totally relate to that and won't be offended at all. And that's because when you get so excited about something, there's fear, there's excitement, there's you're called to do it. You feel like for the first time you were put somewhere to do something, and you want to tell everybody about every detail of it, and you do, and they pat you on the back and say good luck. And then they go take a shower. Everything they just got, right? So, and what's great about that is there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So what we love to do, absolutely love to do, is we love to partner with that person or that group of people and help them translate that into a clear and compelling story. Because when someone has passion, when they have conviction, people listen, right? When you have confidence in something, people listen. They're attracted to confidence. So when we help people, we don't give them a story. We help facilitate their story so they can have that confidence. So when they go out and they stare at someone who can write them a $50,000 check, they can stare at them in the eyes, right? Now, we need some money. We're trying to help people. It's gonna be really great. We want them to look them in the eye, tell them what they need is, what their solution is, and exactly how that person can help. So that's the first component. That's clarity. The second is credibility. The biggest piece of any organization, and a lot of the questions that are asked from people who have been part of companies and started organizations for a long time is, how can we measure? Measure. What are our metrics? So in credibility, we want to help our clients present back to their advocates, their donors, their support base, what the results are, right? Just like any investor, there may be some investors in the room. If you put your money into a certain company, you expect a return on that investment. If you put your money into a nonprofit, you expect a return on impact. So we want to help them measure that return on impact. The last piece is sustainability. And that's, I don't know the specific stats, but we've all read them. Just as many businesses fail, nonprofits fail as well, which is really unfortunate. And we kind of have a motto that is, if everyone who set out to change the world was successful, how different would the world be? And so we want to be part of that. And what's really cool is we want to partner with communities who are really built around that. And I think that's what this room is. So that's where it is. So I'll tell you a little bit of history really quick, because I don't know how much time I have.
Like 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay, really quick. So and I love getting into the details and failures and all that stuff. I think that's really fun to talk about, and I'm not ashamed. So a couple of things, like I said, the things we've learned from a startup is, and again, we're 3.5 years new. The biggest piece is we wanted to be that custom boutique agency. And when you're an agency and you start out, you try to be all things to all people and do everything custom, and it's going to be awesome, and you can do everything. And that's just not the case. We're trying to build a technology department, one person. Trying to build a design department, one person. And so you say, you know what? Let's really look at the audience and see what they need to get started there. If we scale and grow as we do, we will. But right now, let's focus on the skill sets we have and then attract the talent that we need. The second piece is the two main components, since I'm an operations person, which is you have to sell and you have to have brilliant talent to accommodate what you sell. Year 1, you sell like crazy, right? We'll do anything. Year 2, you go, oh my gosh, how are we going to do all this? Year 3, man, maybe we should actually do what we're good at. So we're in year 3.5 to 4, which means we're actually really identifying what we're good at and then rebranding ourselves to position ourselves in that market. And we're going through that transition right now, which is really fun. I think the biggest piece of advice, because I think I'm out of time, is find out the why. Find out the why. Simon said, if you don't know, it's the power of why. But really understand why you're doing what you're doing. Really identify what problem you're trying to solve. Then put your ownership there. Put your culture there. Put your team there. Put everything around you there. But then as it relates to the strategies you have to execute the why, those will change. Be resilient, be flexible. Allow those to change as your market changes, as your people change, as you change, as you identify what you're good at and what you're really bad at. Allow your strategies to execute the why to change. Don't put your pride in the strategy, because that will change. Put your pride in the why. Put your ownership in the why. Put your team and culture in the why. And then look, we call ourselves habitual tweakers. Then constantly refine, look, measure, refine, and that's where we're at today. Any questions?
Who's Josh? You mentioned the name Josh.
Oh yeah, I should probably tell you that. Thank you, great question. So 2 partners, Josh Webb and I.
Okay.
So he's a partner. Thank you.
If you could go back and give yourself advice, maybe from 4 or 5 years ago, what would you tell yourself coming into this point?
Man, that's an incredible question. I would say a big lesson we learned is you think hiring green saves you money, and it costs you a lot of money. Even though it's scary when you're first starting out and you're starting to hire some of those higher salaries, it's really scary because, as a business owner, you feel like, we're responsible for them. We're not just we'll hire you and fire you. That's obviously not our culture. So, but we hired green because but a few years into it, I saw the cost of hiring green versus the cost of hiring experts who can take your brand and your organization, and that was a big mistake. The other big mistake is we did not have coaches. And the owner and I, now CFO coach, personal coach, spiritual coach, have to have coaches. You get in a silo because you want to change the world, but for some reason we want to change the world and the closet by ourselves. Right? So you gotta have coaches, you gotta have people who are experts, and we try to find them for free, pay them. It's worth every single penny. Find a coach. So, if there's any coaches in the room, you can. You're the ones clapping. Yeah.
religion and if so, kind
I'm just curious, nonprofits have really small budgets. Like, how do they engage?
That's a great question. One thing that we've learned is not everyone has money. It's what they value. Now, some people have more money than others. But what we do is we try to equip nonprofits, because we work with ones that are just starting out, all the way up to large nonprofits, and all of them say they don't have money, some of them do. The biggest piece is we've kind of seen this natural path where we take them through, and if we start with a nonprofit, every nonprofit has friends or connections. Unless they have absolutely no friends or connections, that's just kind of sad. They would just be their friend. But what we'll do is the reality is they have people with budgets and money. The problem is they don't know how to ask, right? They're afraid to ask. They think, and here's the biggest, if you're a nonprofit or anything like this, even a young business, what you think is you're just going to be so passionate and you're going to talk about it and then people are going to come to you. And that does not happen. They're waiting for you to be successful. Then they'll come to you and ask, then they'll hang out with you once you're successful. But what you have to do is you have to go and you have to look them in the eye and you have to ask for a specific thing. So for our clients who are really starting out or struggling with that aspect, we help them design what we call a donor presentation. And it gives them the outline, it gives them the results, it gives them a clear story where they can sit down across from a donor and help coach them into this is how you ask, this is what happens when they say no, all that stuff. So we help them build that base, that foundation base with their existing network, so then they can get some footing to grow from there.
Hi, Brett. I may ask you this from Unit 2. So,
Awesome.
But I wanted to ask you, when you go to a nonprofit that's not a startup, it's not in that early stage development, and they're entrenched in the culture, how do you get them to reevaluate because we're struggling with this right now?
I can answer really quick and brass, but I'm not going to because we're in a public forum. But sometimes, yeah, it's really hard. I mean, sometimes you got to rehire your board. You'd be amazed if we're doing a branding project and I'm working with a nonprofit. I say, are you allowing your board to be part of this process, and do all of them have to approve this logo? And if they say yes, 1,000% increase in price. Serious. Serious. And that's the way it is, because you have 12 people who are designing you, right? Any designers in the room? Totally get that. Yeah. So the big piece is it's really difficult, and though we're the communication, so we speak into that, but a lot of times it's through the advocate that we have on the team, and we try to just inspire them and coach them through that process. But a lot of it is the first audience when we're working with a lot of clients is the internal audience. And it's how to communicate and reposition that story to re-inspire that team. So once that is communicated, then take it externally, because it is a waste of money. We believe we don't want to start spending a bunch of money with the organization for external communication if they're struggling big time internally. You gotta get that resolved. So, and we'll probably talk more about that too.
That's a lot of time.
But
Already.
yeah.
Thank you.
What's the process and how long is it going to take to get a company to get to the line?
We have a couple of different, very specific products that we provide. We believe in focused intensity. If you take 6 months to do something, when are you actually going to work on it? Probably 2 weeks before it's due, right? So the other tendency that organizations have is they want to go into a room with their team and just talk about stuff for 6 months. And by the time they figure it out, they've walked out the doors and the world's completely changed, right? So we have a couple of different things, but one of the offerings that we've done for a couple of years now, it's been very successful, so we call it it's just a 1 day, but we facilitate the right people in the room, no more than 4 from the team, and then we facilitate and walk through an exercise where we pull that story out of you. And so far, we've done around 70 of them. So far, at the end of the day, we've arrived at a really good story. Now, copywriters will tweak that a little bit, but generally what happens is either it's solid right there, or what happens is about a month after that, they'll take it, refine it, and then about a month later, the core story's been established. But we're big fans of rapid prototyping, right? Any engineers, any software guys in the room? Rapid prototyping. We believe that philosophy should work across the board with brands as well as they introduce things. So instead of, again, trying to figure it out for 6 months, spending all your budget and then hoping it works, it's let's tell the story, then let's go talk about it. Validate. Don't validate yourself. Go talk about it. Go interact with people. Go sit down with the donor, tell that story, and then ask him for money. Do they give you money? If they don't, try 5 more donors. When you say something in your story, do they interact in any way? So that's how we arrived at. But again, to specifically answer like a month.
One follow-up. What have you seen happen with the culture of the organization once they establish one?
Oh man, that's awesome. If either that process interrupts the culture and someone explodes, and sometimes with us, sometimes we'll work with organizations the first time they've worked with an agency outside of their company, so they actually have someone on their team, someone helping them with different perspectives, things like that. But sometimes it interrupts it, and sometimes it allows them to see they need to evaluate it, because when organizations just exist and they're just kind of going and they don't really have anything, it's easy for people to be on a team that should be on the team. But when you have a clear why and ways to execute it, then people start getting mad, and which is great, because then you can say, great, that's awesome, go somewhere else. But on the other hand, here's the beauty, right? So when I'm an organization and I come knock on your door and I say something, and then you leave that house, you hear that, right? And you just go, okay, that's great, that person said that. But then you walk out and you see that exact same message on a billboard. Or you're scrolling through Facebook and you see that exact same message on a post on Facebook. Or that exact same tweet. And then you're at an event like this and you hear that exact same message. There's something that happens. And that's what happens with your internal culture. They start to believe the message. And that takes a couple of months. But with clarity, people get really excited. And so the benefit that we see mostly is teams finally, the whole team, can rally around one point and one message. And then what we've seen is, and it takes 6 months sometimes, but we've seen total shift. And then people get they have so much ownership. And even, the nice person answering the phones all the way up to the board, they're saying one message and there's so much more ownership. So that's what happens in the dynamics.
2 questions. First, do you have any plans for workshops for coaches to train speakers?
Yes. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
We're figuring that out.
Okay.
But we hope to maybe sometime this year here in Orlando.
Well, you have a few spoken word poets who are professional speakers and event hosts in the room, so at least 2 of us, I'm thinking 2, maybe 3 of us will be definitely talking to you afterwards. Yes. My second question is, how did you guys come up with the name Root Radius?
This is an awesome story, speaking of startups. The first name, we got a cease and desist. First name was Parable Creative, so stories, parables. Apparently there's a bookstore in California that's as big as Lifeway on the East Coast, and they own 22 trademarks around the word parable. So sorry, if your idea had anything to do with parable, get a lawyer if you want to keep it. So root radius is how deep you dig for your story. Depends on how broad your radius of influence will be. So that's where the name came from. It was very hard. Nowadays it's the hardest part of a business is coming up with a name that's not taken. But it's kind of exciting. Really the hardest part is making money and hiring people.
One more question.
Okay. Do you have the final question?
I think I do. I got it. We'll take some classes. So, you probably like 10 hours to answer this to see if you can do it in a minute or so.
All right.
Can you give a specific example of a brand that had a discombobulated message that you helped re-articulate?
Absolutely. Let me see the best one. I would say here's a great story. This is a 54 CEO of an organization who she decided she's going to raise awareness by biking across America, and she's not a biker. So that's a big feat, right? It's pretty interesting. So they came to us and they said, our CEO, Lori Salerno, she's a national speaker, is going to bike across the country, and that's what she's going to do, raise awareness. And we're like, okay, that's pretty well thought out. So when is she leaving? And they were like, well, 5 weeks. And we're like, what are you going to tell people? And they're like, well, she's doing it for Jesus. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And they're like, but we can't say Jesus because we're in the public schools. Okay, so that's where we start. And if anyone's done campaigns here, pre-campaign work is more important than the actual campaign itself. Now, fortunately, this was a 2-month ride across America, so she had a little bit of ramp-up time, a few miles anyway. But so the biggest piece is we said, okay, well, you're in the public schools. They teach life principles in public schools, so that's what they teach. They're one of the few organizations that can teach in the schools during the day, and judges say, well, you'll go to jail or you'll go through this program. So they have a really strong program all over the country, a really fun organization. So what we did is we helped translate that into a campaign called Challenge the Cycle. So the cycle, obviously, being the bike, and then the cycle of at-risk kids being, if we're not equipping, changing, empowering young families and kids at a very young age, we're going to continue this cycle of kids who have no direction and things like that. So that was a good example of a good translation of a story, if you will. Thanks.
So what can we as a community do to help you as you're coming into town helping our social enterprises?
Awesome question. My family and I love Orlando. So, and this is a little bit of a small business trick. Don't work really hard and wait till you're 60 to do things for your family. So my family loves Orlando, so why not have a bunch of clients in Orlando so we can come down here all the time and hang out and enjoy Orlando, as well as work with brilliant people. So I think the biggest piece is, like I said, we work with humanitarian, nonprofits, social entrepreneurs, and religious organizations, specifically with storytelling. Once the story is told, how do we tell that story across multiple mediums? Content strategy, digital strategy, social strategies, that's what we provide. Any relationships, again, we really just want to build a solid base of relationships now. Any relationships that you may have. And then again, there's this community right here, this pocket of people who are very just trying to change the community they live in. Any relationships there are great, as well as brilliant talent. We've been working with Shay Lenny on several projects, and which has been great. So not just getting clients down here, but also talent, connections. We just want to be connected in this community. So anyone you think we should meet. And there's so many incredible people that I've met in Orlando, already passed out, like so many business cards, and met so many people. So I don't really have a lot of information left to give you. So if you can just take a picture of this and then email me, that would be great. So apologize that I don't have a lot of stuff. But yeah.
Just some announcements that we wanted to share with you. We were talking about minimum viable product and the importance of getting something out there, getting your idea out there, and collecting some data. There's a lean startup machine, which kind of is that entire concept. That is an event that's happening May 16th through the 18th at Rollins College. It's a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday event. It's a really, really great event for you guys to take advantage of if you're familiar with the concept. If you're not familiar with the concept, they can really help you out there. This event typically to register is a $250 registration, and what I was just informed today, only registration will be $99 for that 2.5-day event. So if you guys are interested, you can look up Lean Startup Machine Orlando. Orange County Public Library representatives are here. I'm so excited about them. Like, they're not new, but they're new all of a sudden. So they're going to be presenting next week. They're going to talk about their new Melrose Center, which is something that you guys are going to really be excited about if you're not familiar with it already. But they also wanted to share that Thursday, April 17th at 5:30, they're having a tweet up event, which is kind of like a walkthrough, a tour of the facility, and they'll be live tweeting about it. So if you guys are not familiar with Melrose and wanted to check it out, they're going to give you a full tour on that. Next week, you'll hear more about the Melrose Center and what the library is offering. More applicants. Please share with your community. Tell them how awesome this place is. And, if you know someone who's in the startup phase and that can benefit from this community and presenting, please share them
with us. I think every time you get an email, well, in the emails, you could forward to them and then let them know that they could follow the link to apply on our website. So it's really easy to do. We've simplified the presentation applicant process, so it's not intimidating. So please just share it if you can.